Let's have a conversation very quick because a lot of you guys don't seem to understand what you guys getting into with these AI cameras in the truck. Now, in 2026, I would say maybe about 30 to 40% of the carriers out here today, majority of them have snitch cameras in their truck. And the biggest corporation out here that they're partnering with is Netradyne. Now, I might be pronouncing it wrong, but it's Netradyne. Netradyne has become one of the largest AI cameras in the truck since the last couple of years, because I know when I started, there was cameras called iDrive. It was cameras called Litex. I might be pronouncing that wrong as well. Litex, or something like that. But a lot of the carriers has pretty much switched over to Netradyne. And Netradyne has proven that they are the AI technology that a lot of these carriers are using. And when you guys get into the truck, being that this system is AI, y'all got to understand what this system is really doing. It's not just recording events, as they say, but it's recording you, the driver. It's recording your habits. It's recording what you're doing. And what they're doing is uploading that information to the AI so the AI can learn it. And I said this plenty of times before in my videos that where's this information going? Who's using it? Are you really giving up your information, I should say? So let's talk about it, because this happened to a driver. Whether this is true or not, I'm not sure, but it does bring up another conversation that needs to be had about the snitch cameras. Let's talk about it.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This driver posted this to Facebook some time ago. He says that he had his wife to come meet him to his truck on his birthday. Now the truck was parked, he was off duty. They decided to go back into the sleeper berth to, of course, have a private moment, that clap session right quick. Next thing you know, the company sends him a screen grab of the image of him and his wife inside of the sleeper berth. Now, what they do is they canceled his load. They routed him back to the terminal for a conversation. Now, he's kind of sitting and thinking to himself like, hold up, how is there footage from inside of his truck and he's off duty and he's parked? Now, from what I understood about how the snitch camera works as far as capturing information from the inside of the truck, especially when you're parked, the inside camera is supposed to go off, and all the other cameras, because some of them have like four-sided cameras. The one camera is for the inside, the two sides, and then one pointing for the outside. Now, the three are still on because it's monitoring the truck. But the inside cab, when you're parked, is supposed to be for privacy. But in this case, unfortunately, the camera was still on, and quite frankly, it was recording. Now, to my understanding, and that's just to me, that the camera is supposed to be triggered. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, again, he wants to know, how is that possible? And honestly, that is a fair question. So I've been saying this for a while, for a long time. I am not a fan of these driver-facing cameras, period. But this situation right here, though, which is a messy one in my opinion, okay? Because now we got two conversations that's happening at the same time. So first, drivers, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the quite obvious, okay? If that camera is still recording inside the cab while the truck is off, parked, and you're off duty, that right there, my guy, is a problem. See, it's not just about safety anymore. It's more so about surveillance. And drivers, you guys really need to think about that, because a lot of you guys are signing paperwork without actually reading what those cameras can actually do when they activate. Quite frankly, where do they get stored at? See, these companies not putting cameras in the trucks just for accidents anymore. It's not even about that. See, now with these AI cameras, because before it was about the accidents, because that's what they wanted. But now this is AI technology we're talking about here. See, they're monitoring your behavior, and quite clearly, they are watching more than what they claim to be watching. Now, let's jump to the second part. And if I'm going to be honest, right? A lot of you drivers out there acting real surprised about what you already knew what was there. Okay, you guys already knew that the cameras was already there. You knew that the camera was in your face every day. You knew that it points directly into the cab. You knew that, right? So I guess the question becomes, why didn't you cover it? Why you just didn't close the curtains? Why didn't you take accountability for your own privacy? And listen, drivers, I get it. Some people, of course, in the comments are saying that you shouldn't have to, including myself. Let's think about it. I don't think you should have to close the curtains in a place where you feel your privacy is warranted. But you got to understand that that camera is recording all the time. So you got to take some accountability, I guess.
Hold on.
We had to flip over here to Casey's. I remember this used to be a different truck stop. Wow, or something like that. It's off of 75 heading back towards Ohio in Kentucky. When I was here before, it wasn't a bad truck stop. Plenty of parking, it's out of the way. As a matter of fact, it's right across the street from the abandoned truck stop that was there once before. Now, honestly, I think that particular area right there is prime spot for truck parking. And I do think that maybe in the future, somebody gonna come and swoop that up. But right now, we're over at Casey's right quick. We're taking a quick break from trucking. I drove all the way from Georgia straight. Now I'm getting my 30-minute in. I'm gonna probably drive the rest of the 3 hours and get to Ohio, post up in Ohio, and we'll go from there. But let's get back into the video. So drivers, in reality, right? In reality, drivers, you're driving for a trucking company, which is not yours. The truck is really not your private bedroom, even though it does feel like it sometimes. I'm just saying. But now let's just go deeper than this, right?
Shit gets deeper. You get the picture.
Because this is where it's going to get uncomfortable from here. See, if the company is really capturing footage while the truck is off duty and parked, that's a line. That's a line right there that probably might be a line that they cross habitually.
He's a habitual line stepper.
See, that kind of thing right there, that makes drivers start to question about the legality about consent, right? About where the limit is. Because think about it. What's going to happen next? Are they reviewing the audio? Are they watching you sleep? Are they checking on who's getting in and out of your truck? Drivers, that's a whole slippery slope right there, right? But let me just say this too, because this story, this post that's been going around on Facebook, and now it's on TikTok, and now it's becoming a think piece for everyone out there now. This story could be real, or it really could be exaggerated. Now let me just stop right there and talk about the exaggeration.
Hold on.
So if you look at the video, or it's not even a video, if you look at the picture, and if you look at it real close, it might be AI generated. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, this probably was just posted just to get a conversation going. And this is a pretty good topic to really talk about, because even though this may be AI generated, the simple fact of the matter is AI recording cameras is a thing right now. And it could particularly be a whole problem. Driver-facing cameras been a problem for us drivers for years. We're not a fan of it. At first, I was like, hey, it's the company's truck. They're recording inside and out. They just want to see what the driver doing at the time of the trigger. But then when AI started to make the rounds in the driver cameras, now it becomes more of they're studying you. And now you're driving for a company that's giving your information to AI to study you, to study your habits, to see what you're doing. So now this becomes a literal point in why us drivers don't like driver-facing cameras now. As we all know, these cameras record 24/7. They don't just record randomly, they record 24/7. See, back in the day, you had recruiters to tell you, oh, these recorders don't record you all day, every day. It only records when it triggers.
Wrong.
Well, how do you think they get the information? How do you think they get the recording? How do you think when it triggers, it gets the recording? It has to record, so when it does trigger, it can go back 10 seconds and get what's happened 10 seconds prior, record the information, and then probably about an additional 10 seconds after the trigger. And then it just saves that little footage, upload it to the system so that the safety department can pull it up and see what happened right then and there. So yeah, a lot of these cameras are 24/7 recording. Now back in the day, as we all know, and I talked about it, Swift, was it? I think it was Swift or one of those mega carriers. I honestly want to say it's Swift, that had a whole lawsuit between a female trucker and the company itself. And I believe that female trucker won because somebody from the office was watching everything that she was doing. Now, I'm not sure what she was doing in there, but obviously it must have been something that she didn't want. She didn't want known, and she come to find out, and she won. She won. She got a little bit of change out of that. And with that, I think Swift had took out the driver facing part of the camera. Now, they didn't take the whole system out, but I just think they just took out the driver facing part. So these cameras do record 24/7. Don't get it twisted, and don't let none of these recruiters fool you about how these cameras actually work. Now, these cameras are supposed to be trigger based, some supposed to be motion based, some supposed to be impact based. You know what I'm saying? So if you hard brake, hard turn, or anything like that, I know Netradyne, their impact or their trigger system is on just about everything. You look down, it's going to trigger. You put your phone, you pick up your phone, it's gonna trigger. You come around a curve, it's gonna trigger. The Netradyne system has a whole list of triggers that this camera would start